Good morning. Welcome to the Failure Stop Podcast, the number one podcast for case-related breakdowns on the interwebs. I'm your host, Eric Tansey, author of Piglet and a seriously funny true story dropping to all bookstores and Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Nobles. That's what all bookstores means. Costco, Target, Hudson's, August 26th. It is the most anticipated release for Simon & Schuster of the year, and I think it's the first cop book of its time to, I think it's the first, it's like, this is the biggest book deal for a cop comedy ever. And it's even crazier than that, but I can't really talk that much about it yet. We started the audiobook last week, and it is so the guys that are working on the audiobook for Piglet and a seriously funny true story. Josh, let me bring Josh in here. Dead Leg Media is going to break this case down. 4 Grammys the guy's got. The guy's got 4 Grammys. So just did, I think it was like Britney Spears' book or something. I know the other guy's working with William Shatner and Neil deGrasse Tyson. And so it's like, I'm sitting in this room and I'm listening to the stories and I'm seeing all the things on the wall. And I'm like, man, this is a real moment. Like, it's all happening, Josh. And the Failure to Stop crew has been here from the beginning to watch that happen. And so I really appreciate it. I can remember back when I was sending Jonathan Bates the manuscripts, and which I thought was the final book, and I sent it to Jonathan Bates, and he really liked it and wanted to do some artwork for it. And I could just remember like thinking at that moment that it was real. Like when I was seeing what John Bates, who did all the bookmarkers that we'll be mailing out here shortly for the book, and I remember that being the moment. But now I'm like, holy cow, look how far it's come. Yeah, that's one of the stories from the book. Another story from the book. Great stories. So, it's really fun. And I think it's just going to change the whole dynamic of this show. It's going to change the dynamic of all the characters on the show because, yeah, man, it's right now. I wish I could tell you what's happening right this moment. Actually, Josh, you were here for it. I just got a text message. It would blow you guys' minds, but I have to wait. To give the news, and I'm sorry. But today's case breakdown is out of Chicago, ends in Indiana. Joseph Navarro. And this is one of those ones where it's like, I have told you over and over again. I've said this, and I've had other cops. I've had you guys slide into my DMs and you try to argue it a little bit. And then this case kind of comes out. And so I'm not saying I'm right, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but what I'm saying is this could happen to you. And which advice would you have rather, if you were these dudes, would you have rather taken my approach or your approach in this situation? I don't know. Let me know in the chats. Again, I don't hate you for having a different opinion. I don't think you're less of a cop or a human being. I am just getting back from Savannah, Georgia. I got to hang out with a former detective last night, the night before last, and we had a lot of fun. Had some drinks and told some cop stories, and it's really fun. And then, of course, the whiskey starts to seep in, Josh, and then all of that office house politics came out, and I got to hear this guy's, and I like that. Like, I like when I hang out with cops, and it starts off with like the love of the career and all these cool stories, and they're happy to be a cop, and then after like a few drinks, it gets later on in the night, the stories start to go from like epic and awesome, and then the layers begin to peel back. And then we realize that office house politics in even the smaller counties outside of Georgia have this same kind of politics as these bigger cities. But I will say at the end of the day, at least you don't have a civilian review board like the one that they have in Chicago, which leaves Chicago PD and other departments in big cities that have this wackadoodle ideology where you think civilians should weigh in on what you do professionally. It's like that these departments, especially Chicago, are cucks to a civilian review board. It's like you're watching them fuck you.
Well, here's what, if you break a leg, you go to the doctor because that is the best person. They have all this training. They've been doing it. That's the people that you want to go do it. When you call 911, you don't get a civilian review board to show up at your door and tell you what you think you should do. You get a police officer that's been trained, and they have experience and training and on the job training, and they are held accountable for what's going on. And then you have the civilian review board, which is literally, in my opinion, just, hey, let's get a group of people together and throw out our opinions on what we think about this. because it's literally just that. It's an opinion. You have zero training, you have zero experience, you have nothing in the job to base anything that you're saying off of. You're just throwing your opinion out there. I don't like because this looks ugly. I don't like that this officer did this. He could have used different words here. Why did he use his gun and not his taser? Well, go through the training and then you'll know exactly why they did what they did. But what this does is it slows this process down. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3. Here, I'll just pull it up because that's why you guys see it. These are all the different attachments from the Civilian Review Board.
Well, and what's funny about the Civilian Review Board, and I like how it's worded, because it's worded like this. It's like, the post includes all relevant video, audio, and Chicago Police Department records in COPA's civilian officer. What is it called? I don't even know. I forgot what COPA means at this point. Possession that are requiring to be released related to the use in this fatal. So basically, like the Civilian Officer Patrol Advisory Board. What does COPA stand for again?
Civilian Office of Police Accountability.
Yeah, even worse. Civilian Office of Police Accountability. They're the ones that get to choose. Okay, so here's what the COPA, Civilian Office of Police Accountability, put out. Today, the Civilian Office of Police Accountability is releasing video and other materials. That's why I say I feel like Chicago PD is literally like, it's like a cuck scenario, but you're watching some civilian board fuck all of your own officers. Like, I don't know. Does it? I feel like it should be ours. It should be our decision on what gets really. I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's the coffee speaking, but I don't think that it's up to a whole bunch of civilians to determine what the public gets, because you don't even know what you're talking about. You're not even like you're not even educated on, and here's what I mean by this is like they decided to release the transcripts, but every time the guy uses what I'm guessing is the N-word, that's what they black out. That's like the civilians are saying that you're too soft and you're too stupid to understand this guy's insults. And then like, but if a cop said the N-word, do you think they would black it out?
Or do you not think that in the heat of the moment that adds to the context of what's going on? Because if
it's the only word in the dictionary that invokes that much emotion. You can't find another word in the English dictionary that provokes or invokes a certain type of emotion the same way that the N-word delivers. And if it's going to make an officer's blood rise when he hears it or curdles when he hears it, don't you think that's part of the case?
Yep. Not only that, what's funny is there's a video that we're going to part of this, one of these body worn cameras that we're going to show. Not to get too far ahead of it, we're going to show what happens to the suspect. None of that gets redacted. I'm only going to show it once because even then I think that we're going to get yelled at from YouTube. But they didn't redact any of that. None of the blood, none of the gunshots, none of that. But if you use a bad word, we're going to redact that from the report.
Listen, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not the N-word. I'll read the case report a little bit later and you can determine what insults he was doing. But I don't care what the insult was. I don't feel like it's necessary to black out the insults. You know what I mean? But let me read this. Today, the Civilian Office of Police Accountability is releasing video and other materials related to a fatal officer-involved shooting that occurred in Hammond, Indiana. COPA investigators immediately responded to the scene and began the investigation. On May 8th, 2025, the Chicago Police Department notified the Civilian Office of Police Accountability of an officer-involved shooting. You better tell your mommy and daddy that you were involved in a police-related shooting so that they can, do their job. Preliminary information indicates this incident began when CPD officers responded to a call of a person with a gun in the 13,400 block of South Baltimore Avenue. Officers observed an individual entering a vehicle and fleeing the scene. The vehicle crashed. A short time later in Hammond, Indiana, the individual exited the vehicle and an exchange of gunfire occurred between the individual and the officers. The individual was struck multiple times and was transported to the hospital where they were pronounced deceased. The officers were not struck by gunfire and were transported to the hospital for observations, and a gun was recovered on scene. So that's what you got. The media will still cover this as allegedly. They will say allegedly, which I think is really funny. There's no guns in Chicago, Tansey. That's what Lázaro Lopez says. We are a live show. Therefore, we do have a live chat, and I appreciate it. If you're tuning in for the very first time, we're going to go over the video of this whole incident. Before I do, this is a podcast network. We have tons of new shows on the network, but we have FAWKES News, which delivers news, political news, and sports-related news every week, 2 to 3 episodes a week on FAWKES News. We also have a true crime detective breaking down real-life true crime and actually solving cold cases along the way. And that is our podcast called True Crime Santana. And then we have another very fun, historical, very well produced. This is a collaboration with Ali Siebert and Jonathan Bates and the Failure to Stop Network and True Crime Santana, where we are all backing Ali. There's ominous music, and she goes and she does very historical cold cases from like the 1930s and before. So it's very creepy, very ominous. And it's scripted, and it's just awesome. And it's one of my favorite new productions on the show. It's just like, it's really cool stuff. And then, of course, we have Santana True Crime, which has got a lot of interviews, which a lot of true crime people who've written books on true crimes and different cases. And they actually go into like on a detective's level. People connected to the cases. They actually just had this chief on recently, and this guy's got a book which I'm really excited about. I've already ordered it, but it's called 40 Minutes to Baton Rouge, the story of Robert Bowe Rain. And so we'll make sure that we check out that book if you're interested. I've just put it up on the YouTubes. Zach Williams, he's a chief of police. 40 Minutes to Baton Rouge, the story of Robert Bowe Rain. And then Santana's book, A Murder on Campus, The Professor, the Cop, and North Carolina's Notorious Cold Case. If you're a fan of the Failure to Stop Network, if you're a fan of what we do for first responders with our live shows, with our comedy, with our network, with hiring other first responders to do things, you can now buy merch at the FTS Underground. That stands for Failure to Stop Underground. And you can go and get some of our favorites. LeBron James, never heard of her, with a thin blue line. A lot of news coming out with LeBron James and the P. Diddy trial, which I think is very funny. They have the Hard Time podcast. They got the Guns Up, Giddy Up coffee mug, which I'm ordering. And then, of course, they've got some of the graphics from the book Pig Latin, a seriously funny true story, put onto coffee mugs too, which is really, really fun. And I'm going to be giving those out closer to the book release. And so that's fun. So we do have a merch site up. It's called FTS Underground. That is ran by Jonathan Bates. And all that money goes to support artists like Jonathan Bates in the first responder realm. All 100% of that money goes to Jonathan Bates. So please support him and all the things that he does for this network as he builds his brand and he builds our brand. We're really appreciative. He's just a phenomenal artist and a cartoon artist. And listen, if you want a piece of art special from the Pig Latin book, you can DM his Bates. He'll either give you a print or an actual copy. And whatever deal you guys work out monetarily, he'll mail it to me first, and I will actually autograph it, and 100% of those proceeds will go back to Jonathan Bates. So if you want a piece of art directly from Jonathan Bates done for you, work out a price with him, the size and the scope and everything like that, and I will autograph those and send them to Will Cray. Says he ordered 2 shirts. Will Cray, when I was with you in Austin, was wearing a Guns Up Giddy Up shirt. We were actually trying to see who was allowed to wear the shirt for the night. It was like, do you wear it? Do I wear it? I don't remember who won that. Maybe it was a rock, paper, scissors that we did. All I remember from that trip was Will Cray and I's date to Big Black Terry's barbecue in Texas, and it was incredible. And I've been craving it. I would actually do it all over again just for that moment. Okay, let's get into today's breakdown out of Chicago. It's going to end. It's a tri-state vehicle pursuit. And
so you want to start with the 911, figure out why we're here in the first place?
Yes, let's do that.
All right, so here we go. Here's some
May
911.
8, 2025, 17:48 and 19 seconds.
Chicago Emergency Room.
Yeah, I want to make a report.
A report on what?
Well, the person that shot me, he just pulled up on me. He's threatening me, saying he has 2 guns on him. He's going to kill me and my family.
What's the address that you're calling for?
It's going to be...
You're muted.
That's just somebody using the N-word. That's why they beeped it out. It's just a guy using the N-word. So when you hear the beep out, just imagine the 911 call using the N-word. I'm just kidding. I only say that because the COPA appears to have blacked out the use of the N-word in the report, and I think that's funny. Or maybe he used some kind of like Hispanic slur. But anyway, there we go. Bad joke.
Fudgy pizza.
So is he African American or Hispanic?
Hispanic.
Yeah. And when did he shoot you?
He shot me a few weeks ago. I think the fugitive task force, I think they're looking for him actively.
And you said he had 2 guns?
That's what he said to me.
What kind of car is he inside of? What color?
It's a Nissan Murano, a brown Nissan Murano. I could probably get the plate for you right now. What do you wonder about?
What's the plate? And what kind of car are you inside of? What color?
I see the police right in front of me. They just passed.
Okay. I'm just not notifying them. I already sent it over. What kind of car are you inside of? What color?
It's a Nissan Murano. I'm in a Toyota.
What color is it?
I'm in a maroon Toyota.
Maroon.
I don't know.
What's your name? Okay. I already sent it over for police. What's your... Okay, they should be there shortly. I already sent it over.
I'm gonna pull around the block.
Okay.
One thing that I got from that, remember back in the day when 911 callers, or there was that show Rescue 911 with William Shatner, and they play the 911 calls. They'd always say, "Stay on the line until the first responders get there. Stay on the line until the police get to the front door." And then you can hear the knock on the door, and that's the officers. You can let them in. I'm gonna go ahead and hang up now.
Yeah, I do remember that. And I feel like I called 911. My wife was like super pregnant with, I don't know, like our 3rd or 4th child. And she was iron deficient. I don't remember what it was, but she passed out and she hit her face on a whatever. And then she like urinated all over herself, like while she was like out cold. And like I saw this whole thing happen. I'm like trying to hold her. Yeah, I was like freaking out, dude. And I was like calling 911, and they did. They stayed on the phone with me even as she like woke up, like came to, and was like, oh, and like, but the ambulance was coming and all this stuff. And I was just scared because she was pregnant and everything. But they stood on the line with me until the ambulance got there, and that felt good. I really appreciated that.
Yeah, you felt like someone was, no matter what, someone was there. But for the cop side of it, if it's a cop call, regardless, yours is a medical one, but if it's a cop call like this one, they can continue to relay information like, hey, he's getting in the car, he's in the driver's seat, he's in the passenger seat, where was he? Like, you can continue to relay information. I don't know. I know that Chicago is busy, so I don't know if they got to, hang up this gun call to go to the next one. But so they are there because the guy that they're looking for shot the guy that's the caller. So our 911 caller is a victim of being shot from the suspect from a couple weeks ago, and he's wanted by the Fugitive Task Force for this shooting. So the police aren't just randomly walking up to some car here in Chicago. Okay. This isn't just some random thing that, hey, No, the suspect is fully aware of what's going on because he's now back at the same spot where the victim was. Is this to re-victimize him? Is it to shoot him again? Is it to finish him off? What are we doing there? But he's still wanted by the police for the first shooting. Yeah. So we're there. We have a reason to be there. And as you heard on the 911 call, you heard that a patrol car was right near there. So it just by happens, because this happens every now and then, where you'll get the call out and they'll hear the address and you'll look over, you're like,
I mean, like, like as a cop and it's your beat, like, where shit's about to pop off at anyway. So the fact that the cop is right there is probably a sign that this is,
and I don't want to give it away, but
like his hot spot.
There's a couple here. It's not just one car. There's a couple cars. So we're going to go to some body worn camera. So
before we do that, though, can John in the chats? He's a dispatcher from the comm center. John, can you let us know why would Chicago PD not stay on the line? Is it probably just because Chicago PD gets too many 911 calls, or I mean, is that just not common practice anymore to stay on the line? I'll wait for him. We'll play it, but if he pipes in, I'll interrupt. Wasman999, who's from the UK, says, how's it work in the USA? For years, police were dispatched to every call for service, be it ones for paramedics or fire. Now we have a right care, right person, which means we respond less. Yeah, we don't do that, Wasman. We don't go to any kind of call for service. Either if it's a nature unknown, they might send the police. But no, like if it's just medical, no, we're gonna, if it's not domestic related or anything like that, no, they're not gonna send the police. They're not even gonna tell us that it's going on. And in fact, sometimes you'll drive through your beat and you'll see like the fire trucks putting out a fire and you're like, holy shit, I didn't even know there was a fire over here. And then see if you can be of assistance or, whatever. But no, we don't normally go to calls for service just to go to calls for service. Now, our firefighters will go to any car wreck because I guess there was a car wreck at some point and the EMS didn't have the tools to get the person out of the car. So now they made it across the board. If there's a car accident and 911 is dispatched, then the firefighters go automatically. But yeah, there we go. There's that question. All right, let's play the beautiful beam footage. We're going to watch the body camera footage stuff. Now, listen, before we do this, today's show is brought to you by factormeals.com. Head over to factormeals75.com. Use the promo code Wolfpack50OFF for 50% off. That's factor75.com. Promo code Wolfpack50 off for 50% off. Before we do this, I want you to watch this. And I want you to, from the perspective of this officer, it is not going to look that bad. Spoiler alert. This is why when I say on this show to civilians, you cannot go just based on body camera footage alone to get to totality. And they're like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean, Eric? It's the body camera footage. It's literally a POV, first point of view, the first person point of view. No, there's always more to it. And
you muted your mic. You touched your mic.
Until
there you
you've
go.
actually until you've actually been in an incident and then you've watched your body camera footage, maybe you just can't understand the difference. But we were not allowed to watch our body cameras before we wrote a report. So what we had to do was you had to write your report and then you could go back and watch the body camera footage. And it was always crazy how different your report reflects the body camera footage. And this is why they make you do it. This is a perfect example on why they make you write the report out, because your actual point of view is completely different than what this little point of view of a camera that doesn't have peripheral vision. It doesn't have
depth perception.
Soul. A depth perception. It doesn't really have a soul. So, and you're going to see that. And this is a clear-cut case. One of the reasons why I picked this case today, a clear-cut case on why going off of body camera footage alone is not the entire story. So let's go ahead and play that, and let me show you what I'm talking about.
All right, here we go.
So any units coming into the area, no lights, no sirens. We think he's going to step out of Pudgy soon. Don't spook him away.
10-4 for the units responding to that person with the gun. The male is still in the area. Please tell me no lights, no sirens.
Stay away. We're not driving in front of it. We're trying to give it a second. You just talked to my caller. About a dude that shot him a couple weeks ago. Okay. Do you know what this guy looks like? He didn't give a very good description. That's him. No, stay in the car. Hold on.
430.
All right, so right now what they're doing is they're trying to create a plan to come get this guy. He is wanted by a fugitive task force. I think this is crazy that this guy shot somebody prior to this incident and is still in the city and hasn't been detained yet. Like, is that where Chicago's at? Is it that hard to find somebody in Chicago? I feel like where I was from in Raleigh, this would have been a case that's like you got this guy within 48 hours.
Either that or they're visiting a cousin in Florida. They're out of state. They're going someplace else. They're hanging.
Then our task force will usually, if they've shot somebody, our fugitive task force is usually up on them. I mean, it's really hard to get away I even know a guy that was trying to get back to Mexico after a DUI hit and run that was a fatality. And I mean, they caught this dude like in Louisiana on his way trying to get back to the border, like trying to get back to Texas, because they have phones, they have lots of resources, they have cameras on all the highways. So the fact that this dude is like up on the loose, lollygagging around in Chicago, I don't know, like what is the status of Chicago PD? Are they just that strapped? I don't blame it on any of the cops because I actually have talked to Chicago PD cops, but are they handcuffed still to this day from the Lori Lightfoot days? Are they still like unable to really do their jobs?
Here's my theory that would kind of explain things. Anybody that was worth a damn started getting out of this profession about a decade ago. So then all the people that were, I would say, below them have slowly moved up. And as they moved up, those people were looking at things and they're like, oh man, I can see the writing on the wall. I'm jumping ship. So the people that are in command now are all the people that were the yes man a decade ago. So they're going to continue to be the same yes man. So then you have these yes men up here that are like, oh, we'll just do whatever. Then everything in below, everything between, there's just no supervision. There's no leadership. There's no experience to back. You just have this whole entire shift of, between 2 and 6 year, officers that, 2 6 years on, which isn't a lot of time, especially if your entire shift is full of, officers that are kind of younger in the career field. You need someone that's got a decade or 15 years of experience to go, hey, wait, let's slow this down. Let's slow roll this, because this is going to get way crazy. Like I was telling Eric beforehand, it feels like this case, it's out of control, then gets in control, then gets out of control, then gets in control. It's in these different phases, and I think it's just a lack of leadership.
Yep. Are we going to show the body camera footage first or the in-car camera footage first?
We're going to show this is body camera. So
okay, great.
What it's there's a little bit. So I pulled from police activity, and then I've got some from the COPA thing. So okay, here we go.
Get a car.
But remember, this is a guy wanted by the Fugitive Task Force. This is a guy who's wanted in relation to a shooting. I'm responding to this with my gun already out. These guys are walking up with their hands on their pistols. Again, it's Chicago, so I understand that life is much different in Chicago than it is in North Carolina. We're more guns up, giddy up here in North Carolina. Texas, probably the same. We do have one dude. It looks like he's from, I don't know. They're riding doubles, so maybe he's on a project or something. But he gets out and he's got his gun out and he's in super good shape. But he looks like he knows what's up. Let's play this out. But me personally, I'm probably getting out with my gun already drawn on this guy.
There's a couple cars here. This isn't just a random call. They've kind of tried to set up to try to minimize.
1, 2, 3, 4. You got 4 cops.
Yep. All right.
Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Get out of the car!
Again, back into this repetitive repetition. All cops are doing it. It's like nobody's discussing it anymore. They've taken it out of the academy, I guess. I talk about it in detail in Pig Latin, a seriously funny true story. I myself was caught in repetitive repetition very early on in the book. It's very common. But I was by myself. I was alone. I was new, and I didn't know what I was doing. And when you don't know what you're doing, repetitive repetition, get out of the car, get out of the car, get out of the car, get out of the car. It's like you're trying to process in your brain what to do next, but you feel like you need to keep talking. And so you just say things over and over and over again. And it's never a good loop to be in. We need to train better as law enforcement officers. We need to train better, ask once, tell once, and then we need to act. That's what we need to get back to, because repetitive repetition allows the suspect to go ahead and process the fight or flight. He has time, and I think everybody knows now that they have time. They know that you're going to ask over and over and over again, and so they can process if they want this smoke or they don't want this smoke. Whereas back in the day, it would have been like, get out of the car. Bam. Pepper spray, yoked out of the car. And people are like, wow, when this guy says get out of the car, I either need to hit the gas now or I need to give up because I'm all in. But now people are like, well, he's going to ask me 15 or 25 times, so I can still think this out.
Charlie Union 60550.
I love the enthusiasm of the one cop who takes off running after the car. That's awesome. Good for you.
He's going to catch it.
And the other guy's like, wait, what the fuck?
Southbound from where?
And he calls him back. He's like, "Yo, what are you doing? Come back."
You got the keys.
Like,
You're
got the
driving,
keys.
man.
Like, you're driving. Like, why are you running on foot on this guy? Like, they already, yeah. We've all been there, though. I'm not shitting on the guy.
Charlie Union 6055.
So this is a little bit from the dash during the chase here.
433, he's driving recklessly down Brainerd towards Avenue O.
So super good radio traffic. They're chasing this guy because he's a wanted felon, wanted felon for a shooting. He has a gun. So, this is a good chase. This isn't a chase for nothing. This is a violent criminal who's already shot somebody. So he is a danger to the public and society. Glad that they're chasing him. Good job, Chicago PD, for at least having the balls to be able to, well, not you as cops having the balls, but like your government, your city having the balls to allow you to do this. That's nice.
Southbound over towards Avenue O. 424, go ahead.
33 is going to happen.
433?
33, he's on the road on Brainerd going towards Indiana past Avenue O.
On the road towards Indiana
The middle of the
past
lane,
Avenue
no
O.
problems there. Being safe, cautious. It's a nice, bright, sunny day. Light traffic.
60550.
Speeds around 70, I would guess. Maybe not even 70.
10-4 squad.
Not going too fast.
Nope.
433, he just entered Indiana.
So he just crossed straight lines.
Woo!
And
he missed the turn.
10-4.
Oh, shit. And roll over. And then he hit some railroad ties in a really epic, destructive car crash there. And then this is where it's going to get interesting, and we have a lot to talk about here. I mean, this is bonkers. This is like everything I've ever talked about on this show coming. This is the reason why the basics and the fundamentals in the police academy are so freaking important. And if you're a supervisor and you have forgotten these or maybe you're a new supervisor and you've come up in this era of policing that was before the cowboy days, like, this is why you need to learn from these old heads, the department heads. And this is why we should do things the way that we used to do them, because it's videos like this. But before we do, summer is upon us. It's here. More sun, more light, more time to do all the things that make summer so special. The number one thing you don't want to be doing all summer long is going to the grocery store, spending hours cooking inside, trying to meal prep and meal plan. That's where Factor comes in. Factor chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals are ready in just 2 minutes, taking the hassle out of eating well. You want to get lean and mean. You want to get protein heavy, whatever it is that you want to do for this summer before 4th of July, before it's time to throw the glizzies down the throat and watch fireworks. Factor Meals arrives fresh and ready to eat, perfect for any active lifestyle over the summer and beyond. 45 weekly menu options. You can pick gourmet meals. These are fresh and never frozen meals delivered right to your door. You can do Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. Factor powers your day sun up to sundown. They've got the breakfast, they've got the shakes, they've got the lunches, the premium dinners, the guilt-free snacks and desserts, which I'm a huge fan of. Factor has your entire day covered from start to finish. Enjoy this summer. Get Factor if you want all the flavor and none of the fuss. We love Factor meals. All the hosts at one point or another have been up on that Factor game. I lost 27 pounds. Get started today at factormeals.com/wolfpack50 off and use the promo code wolfpack50OFF to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's promo code wolfpack50 off at factormeals.com/wolfpack50OFF for 50% off plus free shipping. Factormeals.com/wolfpack50OFF. All right, here comes the crash, and here comes everything. Now, I want to play here. I want to play the body camera footage. I want you to see what body camera footage looks like versus what the actual totality looks like from a 40,000 foot view.
433, he just wrecked on Dearborn.
Huge wreck. Would have taken me out for sure. but not somebody who wants to be in the fight.
433, he just wrecked on Dearborn. Let me see your fucking head! Let me see your head!
On Dearborn. I'll give him 433 location.
No, stop. I don't want this played. I wanted to play the body camera.
What is
Fuck,
it?
Josh. God damn it.
Hold on.
There we go.
Lieutenant Dearborn, he's on.
All right, here we go. This is right at the crash. This is the body worn camera.
433, he just wrecked on Dearborn. Let me see your fucking head! Let me
433
see your head!
on Dearborn. I'll give him 433 location. 433 say he wrecked on Dearborn. He was last seen going down Brainerd.
433, 10-1, 10-1, shots fired! Let me see your head! Let me see...
433 has 10-1, 433 shots fired Brainerd in What 32?
He's still shooting, still up! Hold your fire, hold your fire!
430.
We're fine.
420. 433.
433, he's at the corner of Goston and Dearborn. He is still armed. He's on the ground.
Okay. So that is the body worn camera footage. And it doesn't look that hectic. Look at his finger bleeding there. He's already cut his thumb, maybe when he was diving down on the ground or he's racking it. But let's go back to some basics here. Not Monday morning quarterback, but you have to learn from these. We have to learn from these scenarios because I really do feel like tactics and policing are, they're either overshadowed by DEI policy and don't rape your colleagues and sexual harass your colleagues and let's deal with autistic people and ADHD people. And we're all just bogged down with so many other things that the basics aren't being put into your head. We have this violent car crash. We have a violent car crash with a suspect who might be armed. And now we're going to get out of our car and we're going to sprint to it. Why are we sprinting to it? What's going now the cop has seen that this guy has exited the car. So maybe he thinks foot chase. That's fine. Maybe that's what it is. But we have to think about, and from this case, you have to think in the back of your head, maybe we don't get so excited to get into a foot chase. Maybe we don't get so excited to get right up there on this car crash and touch the bear so quickly because this guy's moving to cover. The bad guy's moving behind railroad ties to cover. You're running through a grass field. We're not thinking about the basics and the fundamentals. Maybe we move up to that pole. Maybe we move up, but we don't just run right up onto the suspect. Now, granted, this cop might thought this was a foot chase. And would I have done something different? Probably not. I probably would have done the same thing that this guy is doing. I probably would have gotten excited. But I would have had people yelling at me or some kind of supervisor telling me after the fact that, Eric, you should not run up on a suspect like that. We shouldn't be so quick to run up and touch the bear because what happens when you go up there and touch the bear?
He starts shooting back.
Yeah, sometimes the bear starts shooting back and he starts shooting from cover and you don't have any cover. And now we're in this vicious firefight that we're about to see here. Also, somebody mentioned that it was a great reload on the run. We're going to talk about that. Let's go ahead and play the other view, which is terrifying. This is one of the most terrifying shootouts I've seen in a long time.
Do you want the other view or do we want the body worn cameras from the other side first?
We'll do the body cam footage from the other side first.
All right. So this is from that second car. So when we talk about getting on the radio, one, if you're going to get on the radio, make sure the information you're putting out is accurate because this is what will happen if you put out inaccurate information or if you're just screaming over the radio, the people on the other side, they're trying to discern what's going on.
I got you. I'm inside the car here. Go ahead.
All right, this guy is tatted up. He's got his guns out. He's the one that had his gun out originally, I think, on the first call, which I liked. He's got the haircut. He looks like he's in good shape. I'm hoping good things come from this guy. Let me see, because he looks the part.
Yep.
There we go. He's walking up.
He's moving.
He's moving.
He's moving.
He's going. He's walking. He's going.
Is this the other guy? Is this the same guy? Yeah, it's him.
They were just following in the same direction.
He's over here?
Oh, so they don't even know where the wreck happened.
You cover, brother.
Isn't that crazy? Like, isn't that crazy how combat works?
It's the second car on scene. They're
and it's
listening
really-
to the radio.
Yeah.
And they have no
don't
idea what's
know
going on.
where the shooter's at. And that's what I really want to talk about here in just a minute. This is extremely important. But I actually write about this in Piglat, and a seriously funny true story. One of my critical incidents where I was on a scene and all the cops were passing me. And I couldn't figure out why all the cops were passing me. And it's because I was on a secondary scene and there was a primary scene and I didn't even know. Because I was either locked in with tunnel vision or whatever. I missed all the traffic that there was another scene going on, and that's why communication is super important. Happens to everybody, but there's a gun battle going on, and these cops are running in the wrong direction. They want to be in the fight. They want to get in on this, and they're headed in the wrong direction, and that happens, and that's the confusion. That's the fog of war, as they say.
Well, not only that,
I know.
they just said watch the crossfire, because if you think about where the direction where we're at right now, if you look
Yeah, the
line
one
of
guy's
sight,
behind-
there's
yep.
the suspect's right there, but behind that suspect, behind those barricades, is the other two officers.
Right.
So they are, the other two on the other side are flanking these two on this side.
Yes,
with the
because that
suspect
one
in the
cop
middle.
is hiding behind those wood
The wood pairs. Yep.
ties, the railroad ties. There's a cop behind there, and the suspect is going to be where you see the cop's car at. So yeah, major crossfire could be happening right now. Keep going.
Get behind the car.
Yeah, let's move.
They've been out of the car now for 60 seconds.
Wow, really?
That's an eternity, and you still don't know where the suspect is.
Right. And yeah, he's shooting still.
I just
Wow.
want people to put that all in perspective, that they've been
Right.
out of the car. They're the second ones on scene. They're hearing all the same radio traffic that's going out, and they still, for an entire minute, we still don't know where the suspect is.
Right. And so we go back to like cases like the school shootings, or like the one in Brevard County or Broward County or Brevard County, where the police officer remember he was saying that he was confused on where the gunfire was happening. He didn't know if it was outside the school or inside the school, and they all call him a coward. Like, here is some guys that are on the scene. They're actively looking for the shooter, and they are going in the opposite direction of the gunfight. Not because they're cowards, not because they're scared, but because the fog of war is full of confusion. And that's why you cannot judge people that are in there. One, everybody's going to act different. And two, everybody's perspective is completely different. And what you see on body camera footage is not the totality of the incident. It is not that simple. These things are not as easy as you think they are. Keep going.
Because the other thing, I just want it's to slow us down. They're literally walking through the middle of a cross two lanes in one direction, two lanes. Yeah, a big, massive intersection, which there's been a lot of traffic in this entire time. They're just willy-nilly walking in the middle of it, literally walking in circles in the middle of the intersection. No cover, no nothing. Just put that all in perspective of like, that's what's going on right now.
Right. They're still just walking around. They have no idea what's going on. Not their fault. They just don't know. Now they can hear their buddy yelling.
You can hear the cavalry coming, but now the cavalry doesn't know where it's at.
On the ground. And Dawson and Dearborn, the corner, right by the sheephole. Hey, he's over here?
All right, so
He's
before we
over
get
here?
up to where,
Now that's him right there. He doesn't know
Nope.
that that's him, right?
so before we get up here, I'm only gonna play this video once because they didn't redact or blur much of anything on this one. But this is like you said, they still don't know where this guy is.
And this is a terrifying video. When you see this from dash cam, this video is so fucking scary. Stop here. I want to play the other video now. I want to play the big wide lens right now. And then we'll go back to this one.
We just spoke to the call.
All right,
Let's watch this from the dash cam.
33, are you still pursuing the vehicle?
10-4.
I'll make this big screen.
Available Sergeant of 4.
433, he just wrecked on Dearborn. 433, he just wrecked on Dearborn.
There he goes. He's exiting the window, and the cop's taking off after him because it's a foot chase. But now it's a gunfight.
One on the right fell, walked through a pole. Oh.
What?
433 said he wrecked on Dearborn. He was last seen going down Brainerd.
433, 10-1, 10-1, shots fired! Let me see your hands! Let me see.
433 has 10-1, 10-1. 433 shots fired Brainerd in
How many times this dude gets back up? Still going.
Still going. Still has the gun. Still waving the gun. Still waving the gun. Pointing the gun.
He's dying, obviously. But he's still shooting.
Out.
He shoots until his last breath. But now
So
he's
his blood
hiding
pressure-
behind a bumper.
433.
And
Behind a pole.
433, he's at the corner of Gosford and Dearborn. He is still armed.
He stays up for a while.
yeah, he's still up. Now, these guys are walking through this intersection at about right now.
The corner of
You,
Gosford
this
and Dearborn.
this first car comes up. You hear the siren cut out.
Gosford and Dearborn, he is on the corner.
Corner of Gosford and Dearborn. Clear the air.
Southeast corner.
So now he's hiding.
Right.
He's
Southeast
moving that
corner,
bumper,
southeast
so he's
corner.
getting
He's
cover.
on the ground, still
I mean,
armed.
he's getting concealment from this bumper, which is right where the cop car is. And now that's where you see these cops going through the intersection. They are only within 25 yards from this dude.
They're just
And
off
they
to
don't
the
know
left.
he's there. They have no cover, no
Look at-
concealment.
He's
Walking
waving.
through the intersection, trying to be cool, trying to figure this is out. Like,
I see him,
yo.
I see him. He's on this corner, southeast
see,
corner.
the cop's like, he's on this corner. What are you doing? Like, what?
The bumper's still moving.
The bumper's still moving. The guy is still under there. Like, do you guys see how
Like,
terrifying this is in the chats? Do you see how scary? So, like, when you show up and you've got your rifle and you got your hat on and you're just walking around trying to stay calm, I get it, right? Part of us are trying to be cool, but, like, we're in a gun battle, guys. We need to be moving to cover. You have to get on the radio and then get information. Stop running around. Stop walking around. Stop doing nonsense. Stop checking the block. Like, I'm in this. Like, we're trying to appease the civilians that have criticized you for not moving or for not going, the Uvalde criticizers and all these things that have no idea what it's like when you just start fucking getting to work. Like, you can't just get to work if you don't know what you're working on. Because this guy, luckily, the other dudes are good shooters. They put, I don't know. They've had to at least put 10 rounds in this guy at this point. And the guy is still in the fight.
Yeah, I think he gets hit like 5 or 6 times.
Okay.
Because they put
Thank God
at
they
least,
hit him 5 times out of the 15,000 bullets that they sent his way. This is
I'm just gonna let this
terrifying.
play while you're talking because this is gonna further.
Yeah, now he just moved his gun again. He just waved the gun in the air. And they're walking. How many feet are they from him? 25 feet? 30?
If that.
Max?
With nothing between
With
them.
no cover.
There's no
They
patrol
don't
car.
know he's back behind this bumper. He's right there. He can see them. They can't see him. Whoa.
Watch flagging. They're over on the other side right now. So they're pointed at each other. That's where we are. So they still have no idea.
Again, I'm not shitting on these cops. What I'm saying is like, now he knows. Now he sees them, and they're in the fight, right? But we saw the body camera footage before they were in that. If that dude hadn't been plugged 5 times, he could have easily have shot those cops. You can stop it right there. Okay, so I want to go back because there's some really important things that have to be addressed here, and I've said it the last 6 shows in a row, maybe 5 shows, 4 shows in a row. I don't know, but I've said it enough shows in a row that now I get to say I told you so. Why we have to stop talking on the radio so much, unless you're going to give out pertinent information. If you're in a gun battle, that should be 2 words. You know, shots fired. And unless you want to say where the suspect is, what he's wearing, which work change, like other than that, we don't need to be talking on the radio and saying shots fired, shots fired, shots fired, shots fired, still shots fired. He's still shooting. Like we need to be, there's nothing with that information. There's nothing else that you're going to give them that they're going to come and help you. Like that's you. You're in the fight, and if all the information you can get out is shots fired, there's that is not going to keep you alive. What's going to keep you alive is getting that reload, getting it reloaded quickly, finding the target, and putting more rounds on the target. The poor cop is on the radio so much, he's literally being shot at from 5 feet away, and he's trying to talk on the radio. Somebody mentioned that it was a good reload on the run. I don't really want to see you reloading on the run. Like, run as fast as you can. You have the suspect within second feet of you. You need to be running and diving behind cover and hitting that reload while you have cover, because now we're just jogging around. And again, it's because we didn't have the mindset of what it entails. And this is where sim rounds are so important. Reality-based training scenarios are so important, because the cop's brain is saying, get on the radio. Good. His brain's working. He's not conditioned black. He's not tunnel vision. He's not blacked out. I mean, he's thinking. It's just we're thinking the wrong things. And those are training flaws. It's not his fault. He's doing everything he's supposed to do. He's thinking, get on the radio, because that's what he's been taught. He's thinking, do a reload on the run, because that's what he's been taught. The basics are like, kill the bad guy. That should be the fundamentals here. Kill the bad guy. Stay the fuck off the radio. You're the one in the fight, bro. You're this. And the reason why we're getting on the fight with all these hands-on uses of force is because we think that in numbers we're safe. No, they're not going to help you right now. This guy's 10 feet from you. You're in the gunfight. It's you. You have to kill this guy. There's nobody else going to kill him for you. You are going to have to kill this guy. Kill the fucking bad guy. And then do all the other dumb shit that you got to do. And that is why it's so necessary and important to do reality-based training, to have sim rounds, and then because we're all in your first firefight and your first sim rounds fight, and you're always going to fucking up religiously. That's just going to, there's so many things that you're going to be like, oh my God, I didn't realize I did that many things poorly before this incident. That's why the departments have to spend the money on the sim rounds, because we can get rid of, not all of them, but we can get rid of a lot of flaws. Right here, it says, I hate when everyone has to fucking say I'm checking in. That's it too, because we know, you know that if I yell signal 2-5, whatever it is, TAC 1 maybe is what it is for these guys, because he yells TAC 1 a few times. So TAC 1, I'm guessing, means like
shots fired. That's usually good enough.
Like, there we go. TAC 1. If that's all the information you have and you have to get back to work, I don't have a problem with saying TAC 1, but like, that's it. You're done. TAC 1, and then we're back in the gunfight. But he keeps going back to the radio, back to his gun, back to the radio. You got to get out of that mindset. Your mindset has to be search and destroy.
Well, what information are you getting over the radio that's pertinent to those other? Because for over a minute, the
TAC
other guys,
you didn't have any other information.
They're literally standing in the middle of the intersection. You could see them. You're still talking on the radio, and the information is not getting over. They have no idea what's going on. This is a big pie, and every person there is going to get a slice of that pie. The first people there, they're going to get I'm in the gunfight slice. The last people there are in the I'm directing traffic around this scene because we closed off all these roads pie. Everybody there is going to have a piece of that pie, but as you get there, take a slice and get away. Don't stand in line. Just get there, get on scene, find out what you're going to do, find an incident commander. If you're a supervisor, someone take charge. Hey, get a tourniquet on. Hey, call a medic. Hey, go ahead and start securing this road. Hey, start securing this road. Hey, see if we have any witnesses. Hey, we just shot a lot of rounds off. See if there's anybody else that got hit, because there's a lot of other cars that were driving through this entire time. But this is that pie. This is where you stay off the radio and let the supervisor go, hey, 2-1, you go over here and do this. 2-2, you're over here. This 5-6, I want you to go over here.
Like after an incident, I would rage. I'd be like, shut the fuck up. Stop saying you're checking in. Like, I get it. You checking in on the radio doesn't do anything for me. Like, you're just tying up the fucking radio waves.
Yep.
And I've got shit to do. So like, I don't want to hear your bullshit. Somebody says, wrong, reloading on the run is cool as heck. And it is. And this guy did an awesome job. This guy did a really good job reloading on the run. He flicked the magazine out. He reloaded. He tap racked, readied. He did an awesome job. He really did. And he got back, but he did all of that to get behind cover in a place where he's in the gunfight, and he got on the radio. And again, that's not his fault. That's like a training flaw. That's what we've been trained to do. We're like obsessed with radio checking. I've said 4 or 5 shows. Like, we're obsessed with repetitive repetition. We're obsessed with getting on the radios. We're not obsessed with, I want to be the guy to kill this guy. I'm the dude here. This is my fight. I'm going hands-on with this dude. I'm stopping this guy with the knife. I'm not waiting on my friends. I don't need you. And we have to get back to that mindset. State troopers do a great job. Georgia State Troopers, I was just getting to hang out with the Georgia police guys, and they very much have that southern redneck, like, I'm going to fuck you up. They also have that, you're getting a ticket. Like, the one dude, he was like, fuck that. I don't write warning tickets. I pull you over, you're getting a ticket. You know, like, but it's a mindset, and it creates a discipline. Civilians don't like it. Again, you know, we talk about civilian perception and everything, and we're obsessed with perception now. But, you know, there's a mentality that's going to keep you alive. So knowing those things, I want to go back and play in its totality, watch the radio traffic. You've seen the outside view. Let's go back and rewatch some of these things with what we know now. And, you know, I don't want to say how we could do better because I'm glad we won, but like, I'm glad this video happened. I'm glad these cops were good cops and that they were, trained the amount that they were trained. They were trained enough to stay alive. I hope that if you're from a lower income department, a smaller department, this isn't big city shit. This happens this is now cross state lines to Indiana. This could happen anywhere though. This is a guy who wants to be in the fight. Look how many, and listen, maybe you're a cop and if this guy wanted to stay alive so fucking bad and kill you, what if you had that? What if cops had that? That guy didn't have radio traffic. That guy didn't have fun. That dude was like, I'm killing all of you. I'm going to stay alive. Even after he took how many rounds that this guy takes, and he's never out of the fight. You as a cop, do you have that mindset? Are you there? Are you mentally where this guy's at? Because he's there. Are you like, I don't care if you shoot me. I don't need the radio. I don't need my friends. I'm going to kill you because that's his mindset. That's his mindset. Where's your head at? Let's play it again, Josh.
All right. Don't spook him away.
10-4 for the innocent responding to that person with the gun. The male is still in the area. Please tell me no lights, no sirens.
Stay away.
I love that. Stay away. Let us handle
We're
this
not
shit.
driving in front of it. We're trying to give it a second.
Because they don't want a foot chase.
You just talked to my caller.
They can trap him in the car, what they think.
Caller about a dude that shot him a couple weeks
But
ago.
notice that when they pull up to block him in, they don't block him all the way in because all of the civilians are like, well, you didn't give him a place to escape, and so therefore you talked your way into a gun battle, and that's why they don't block him all the way in, and that sucks too. And of course, they didn't block him all the way in because the cop has to get out of the car because there's two of them in there. But
back in the day, you would nose up to this. You get one from behind and one in the front. This is a nose.
Fucking yeah, like.
Open the car. Open the car. Keep your hands up. Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
Yeah, see, we're done.
Get out of the car.
We're done.
We talked about this a little bit before because I don't want to completely just crap all over these guys because these guys
No, they do.
They stayed in the fight. They stayed in the fight the entire time. They take the fight to the suspect.
Yeah, they're fine. Like, I don't have any, but I don't think these cops did a bad job at all. They won the ball game. Like, great job. I say these things mainly for other cops watching.
Yep.
That can learn something different. And also, I think it hits home the point of using sim rounds in training as much as you can. And I know us cops, we complain, we're like, man, I don't want to fucking get hit with sim rounds and shit. Like, you should feel the pain of sim rounds to get your adrenaline
It makes
going.
you remember.
It does.
That there's a reason why you do it. You try to get as close to simulation as possible. That way, when you're clearing a stairwell, I'm telling this story because I'll never forget it. Clearing a stairwell, Junction City Middle School. I got shot in the back of the head with a sim round.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it. I will always clear stairwells a certain way now because I was shot in the back of the head in a stairwell, and it hurt like hell.
I mean, I don't sit. Yeah. I mean, sim rounds training's taught me a lot. I think the military should use more of it as well. Or paintballs.
Paintballs, airsoft.
Yeah. Just get that adrenaline spike. Man, he really hits those pilings so hard. And honestly, like, that would have taken me out of the fight. I mean, he hits this pile of wood, and it sends literally these railroad ties 10 feet.
And the bottom of the pack just stops in its place.
So now the cop's going to see the guy crawl out the window, and he's going to take off running, thinking it's a foot chase because that's what we're doing. But, you know, I think next time he'll move to that cover first. Or I love how he says, fuck you. When the guy pulls the gun out, the cop goes, fuck you.
He's yelling, kill me, kill me.
And it looks like the guy tap racks right. His gun's jammed. That's the problem. That's the only reason that cop's alive is because that guy had a malfunction. He clears the malfunction right here. At least that's what it appears. And then once he clears it, he gets back up and gets in the fight. And every time he gets up, they shoot him again. I mean, they fucking, there you go, shot him again.
Because they're not, look now, he's not being shot right now. He only gets shot when he picks his gun up and starts pointing in the direction of his two officers.
That's why I like that show from last week where the chick just is like, fuck you, and she just shoots him like as many times as she can. But this is why we shoot people until the clip runs out. The magazine runs out. So
they both just emptied. They both just emptied into this guy.
That sounds gay.
That's what she said.
ARD 3214 says, did the perp run out? It doesn't look. I think his gun was jammed. I think his gun, either the cop shot him in the gun and he's having problems, or he's just got a piece of shit gun, or he's gripping it incorrectly and it's not cycling correctly. And he's also been shot like 5 times. All right, let's play the what's the gory one you wanted to show?
Here we go. So this is my advice here, or what I see here. Someone take charge.
Shoot him.
You guys are all grown adults. They give you a gun and a badge to be able to take someone's life. Now take charge of the scene. There's
crossfire.
1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 or 6 officers here. They all got their weapons drawn on this guy. This guy's definitely not moving anymore. Someone take charge and start doing stuff. Hey, go do this. Hey, start blocking off the road. Hey, because I'm going to play this out, but in the longer version of the dash camera footage, you played out cars while they're doing this, cars are still screaming in. Your backup is still flying in.
Yeah,
they're doing
well, then we got this girl coming up like she's going to do some shit.
Well, what ends up happening is 2 cars that get here, they're running mock Jesus and they almost hit each other. Pulling up on scene while this. So they're
oh no, you got one guy out there. You got a guy out there working traffic like a good guy. Look, he's working it. He's doing good. This guy pulling out evidence bags. Not bad. Everybody's trying to get over. I mean, there's a lot of adrenaline going on right now too. Yep. Like, I mean, everybody is fucking. There's a period through the fucking roof. They're doing the best they can. I got no problem.
There's a. Here, I'll go back over.
They got him good, dude. All up in the chest, the stomach. Fuck yeah, dude.
Rounds on target.
Oh god, look at that. That's a gaper right there. Oh my
god.
I
put a tourniquet on his left arm.
Good grief. They have stitched him up good. Woo.
So this is what they're still running in. These 2. Okay.
Well, because nobody's called them off yet.
Yeah, no one's told them to slow down yet.
But now you got other agencies coming in, it looks like.
And you're here's the other thing. This thing started in Chicago and ended in Indiana.
That guy's rifle set up just like mine.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's hard, especially like if you're not used to crime scenes like this and you don't know who has. I mean, honestly, you had like 4 or 5 cops that were actually in the fight, so I don't really expect them to pull a leadership position. It's too hard. It's too difficult. It's like even if you get in a foot chase or use of force, your brain doesn't really catch up. So there's no way. But yeah, when you're a later person that gets on scene, you're probably the guy that's going to be the scene commander at that point, no matter what your rank is. The guys that were in the fight, they can't lead from there. They're in it. Their brains are gone at that point. So it does take somebody to say like, hey, I'm going to step up and take charge. But I'm not sure that Chicago PD is all big on leadership. And the people that are in leadership at this point at Chicago PD, not all of them, but a lot of them are probably, like you said, yes men. the political police officers that, did all the shit during COVID and played by all the rules and just, makes you wear your hat the right way and be, those are probably all the ones that are in charge, and you can't expect them to allow their other officers to be good leaders, because that would take their position, and they're not real alphas. So Will Cry says, I'll put that comment up here. The fat woman cop is there to waste a pair of gloves and do jack shit. She picked up the gun. I hate fat cops too. Another one says, thank God the short fat cop lady shows up. Yeah. I mean, it's embarrassing. And I don't know why as a cop you want that reputation, or that's not your main priority in life is to fix that. But I would at all costs, even if I had to put those dangerous injections that I don't like. But being fat is probably more dangerous. So send it. A lot of fat jokes. A lot of fat jokes. You got to know, like, if you're a cop and you're fat, like, you should be shamed. And you shouldn't give into the shame and kill yourself, and you shouldn't quit. You should just get better. Become a warrior, become the alpha, get in shape, do whatever it takes. But that's the most important. You can't serve the public if you can't take care of yourself. Guys, great
disposition on this one real quick.
Yeah.
So Joseph, who was a convicted sex offender as well.
Yeah.
The offender at the time was 22 years age, and he was 34. He was convicted of aggravated criminal sexual abuse with a weapon and aggravated kidnapping to inflict harm. That's what he was convicted of as a sexual offender. And then he was also wanted for the gun charges as well. He does not have to worry about any of those because Joseph died at the hospital. The officers were treated and released with minor injuries and got a vacation.
I'll guarantee you that dude died on scene. They just transported him so that they could call it in the hospital, which is a lot easier. You don't have to tie up that scene. But at the end of the day, hey, listen, Chicago PD guys, y'all did a great job. You guys' brains were thinking the whole time. You guys were warriors. I'm not even joking. Like, that reload on the run was sexy. I would just say that, like, I don't know if for me personally, if I could go back, from Monday morning quarterback, which is never a good thing, but like, I hope maybe somebody watches this and says, dude, when you're in the run, like, if you got to retreat, fucking retreat. I'm not reloading on the retreat, but because listen, the only reason that cop didn't get shot was because that dude had a jam. Maybe I'm wrong, and if you know that cop, maybe you can reach out and give me the totality. It just looks to me like God definitely saved you that day. Or maybe you're just such a good shot that you shot him in the gun. I know that happens a lot. So really, really great job from the Chicago PD. Guys, just know that when there's a wreck, when you're running up on somebody, theatrics don't matter. And that guy could possibly have a gun. Chances are he doesn't. Chances are he's rattled. Chances are he's going to run. But what if he doesn't? And that is the point. I am wearing a Bar is Open with Beth and Greg shirt today. That is another one of the podcasts that we're big fans of here on the Fair Stop Podcast Network. Bar is Open with Beth and Greg. I will be seeing them in a week or two on the 23rd, I think, 21st. So we will see them very soon, and I'm really excited to see them. Until then, go check out the Bars Open with Beth and Greg. Check out our new merch site, FTS Underground. Check out all of our social media pages. Hit the like and subscribe button. Pre-order the Pig Latin, a seriously funny true story. Do it today. Until this time, check up on FAWKES News, where you can find me with lots of breakdown. What Israel has attacked Iran officially. Greg is live tonight at 7 p.m. on the Bars Open with Beth and Greg, live tonight at 7 p.m. We have Allie in the Archives, which is an insane, awesome, amazing produced series. And you guys are really, it's storytelling. It's got the music. It's really well done. Allie is the next big thing. I promise you that. Coupled with Santana True Crime. She's got a book called Bloodstained. Go and check her out. You guys liked her when she was here to do a breakdown with me. Also, Santana's book, A Murder on Campus, The Professor, the Cop, in North Carolina's Most Notorious Cold Case, for myself and Deadleg and everybody here at the Fair to Stop Podcast Network. Until then, guns up. Giddy up.
See ya.